else, right? But now you need to know. Now you need to know what do those top articles have in common. And a content analysis report is going to tell you that. It's going to tell you where you should be promoting your content. Is that Facebook? Is that Twitter? Is that LinkedIn? It's going to tell you how long you should write your content. Should you be writing something that's pretty short, something somebody can consume quickly, like 500 words, 1,000 words? Or are you thinking about something that, are they consuming something that's very, very long and in depth? Like, I can dominate, this part of my industry when I write, then you at least needs to have some data points to optimize for social sharing. Because, a great example would be right now, if you were writing about the topic of content marketing, something like what BuzzSumo does, everybody's sharing content about that topic that's really long, like 3,000 to 10,000 words.
Right.
So if we turned around and published an article that was like 500 words, like a quick checklist, nobody's going to share it. And if nobody shares it, we don't get eyes on it. If we don't get eyes on it, we can't translate that back into traffic to our website. So we didn't do enough research before we posted it. So you got to think about it that way. Do your research about like those types of things, networks, length of post, to see how you should structure your content. You could then do the same exact thing on the domains of your top competitors. So when you say like, the top guys are publishing 2-3 times a week, great, grab their websites, put their website in that most shared field and search for their website. See what the top articles they've posted on their website is. You're going to get a lot of topics. You're going to get stuff about real estate, stuff about buying, stuff about selling, lots of different types of things. And it's going to help you generate ideas about what you should be writing about. Mm-hmm. So in a sense, I'm less concerned at this moment with like specific authors and more concerned with the sites, if that makes sense.
Okay, now when you say the sites, you're saying the sites that are getting the most shared in that topic?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, or just the site regardless. Like, so, if you did a search right now for, what search do you have open right now? So you've got Gauge Digital Media open. So plug in the topic of digital marketing. Yeah, or social media, that's fine.
Oh, just start with social media, man. Yeah.
Social media management. Yeah, that's great. Okay, social media management. All right. So one of the top articles here at the top is by clickfunnels.com. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So if you click on clickfunnels.com, you're going to open a new window, and now, you're just doing it for Rachel. Just remove rachelanderson.clickfunnels, just do clickfunnels.com. Now you can see the top content that ClickFunnels has published. So there's some stuff about, local SEO. There's some, keep scrolling down for a second. There's some stuff they've done that they've promoted. There's how a social media agency works. There's that article about how to get booked as a social media manager. There's all these webinars and trainings. So you see like all the different types of content this popular website has been able to create, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
From there now, so now what you've done is you've done a big search for your topics, and you've done a big search on your competitors' sites. I would do this first before you get into specific authors.
Okay.
Because individual authors usually write for the same publication over and over again.
Yeah.
So may as well comb the site where you're going to get that author's information and anybody else who's writing at that site.
That makes sense.
Once you start to do that, you can have a very, very clear picture of what's working for content for your topics and what's working for your competitors, so you can really start to amp up your own content production game.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about finding influential people in the space, the best way to do that is to go into the influencers tool and start looking for job titles.
Okay.
So think about like what's your ideal influencer? Like what do you want from that influencer? Like, are you looking for, I know you just mentioned real estate, so that's why I'm using it as an example. But like, let's suppose you wanted to find experts in the marketing space. Look for content marketer.
Right.
Look for digital strategist. Look for social media manager. Look for their job titles, and you're going to get a list of people that, like, that's how they define themselves in their bios. Those are the people you want to find.
I got you.
Once you find them, you can start adding them to influencer lists. You can start building specific lists based on those titles. Like, you can make an influencer list of all the top content marketers, or all the top digital media specialists, or all the top real estate investors. I mean, whatever it is, you're going to have different goals for different needs. If you're going to be publishing something about a particular topic, figure out who's already influential in that sphere.
Yeah.
Figure out who's already writing about it, so that you can build a list of people that you can try to start to engage as you're publishing content.
Okay.
And those lists are probably going to be different when you tackle different topics.
All right. Now, in terms of this right here, the relevancy, number of followers, what do you think is the most important as far as finding who's getting them, who has the biggest following, who's been the most successful in their field?
Yep, great question. Really, really great question. So there's a couple things that I would pay most attention to. I would not pay attention to follower counts, because people can artificially inflate those, right?
Yeah,
they can like buy
sense.
followers, and
Makes sense.
It doesn't really matter how many followers somebody has. What matters is how engaged their followers are.
Right.
So the most important metrics to take into account for Twitter are the last two: the reply ratio and the average retweets.
Okay.
The reply ratio will tell you how often when they tweet are they in conversation with their audience.
Okay.
So that's important to you, because if you're going to try to use Twitter to reach out to them, you want to know if they're going to maybe respond to you. If that reply ratio is 0%, that means it doesn't matter how influential they are, they're not going to respond to you on Twitter. So don't waste your time chasing them down.
Absolutely.
The other part, the average retweets, that's a really great metric that can give you some insight into sorry about that. I just dropped my microphone. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. The average retweets tells you how engaged their audiences are with them. So if I write something on Twitter right now, I usually get about 3 average retweets when I post.
Okay.
The higher that number, the better. That means that their audiences are interested in what they're posting and sharing it around with each other. The more that they share, the more your content has the potential to reach a wider audience, and it's exponential. Even just an average retweet of 2 means that if I'm tweeting out a link to an article that you wrote, and I drive 2 average retweets, that could result in a 20 to 25% increase in the potential number of eyes for your content. So that's a really important metric.
Okay.
Let me point out one other thing real quick, and then
yes.
I want
yes,
to take that question. The other metric that I pay attention to is the little bubble number next to the person's name. Do you see that?
Yes.
It's not on. Yeah, Instagram Authority Score. It's not on all of them, because not everybody has linked an Instagram account. But for those that have, if somebody doesn't drive a lot of engagement to their Twitter channel, but they have a high Instagram Authority Score, maybe they're a more influential influencer on Instagram. So you can still save them to a list here in BuzzSumo. You just name the channel Instagram Influencers.
Okay.
Cool.
right. I got you.
Now, sorry about that. What was your question?
Nah, I appreciate it. I was gonna ask you. So I thought I had lost my list. The soft sci-fi and the time travel sci-fi. That was for an author I'm working on. But I didn't know where to find my list. I know it's probably pretty simple, but I see it. This is the only time I see it. I don't know how to access it.
Um, it's in the outreach list tab that's right next to the one you're looking at, right up at the top near search influencers, top authors, outreach lists.
Okay, and then it'll have all these people. Boom.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you could, once you save influencer lists, all of the lists will live here in outreach lists. You
Yeah.
can have influencers on more than one list, and you can remove, delete, and edit them at any time.
Okay.
So I think that's the sort of the primary things, like at least in kind of, if I were your strategist right now, my main thing would be like, all right, go away and start building me some content analysis reports for 3 to 5 topics that you want to write about. So like on average what I should be looking at for shares, what networks am I looking to drive shares on, and then create 1 to 2 big influencer lists that match up with those topics that you want to write about. And if you sort of get comfortable in that process and you sort of, BuzzSumo is something that's going to work for you, then the sort of next step would be, if you have any technical questions about implementation or whatever, we could jump back on a call. Then if you're really looking to sort of sign up and give it a go for a month or more, then once you do that, you would actually kind of be contacted by me or one of my other members of my team to actually do a full-on onboarding with you, where we could talk strategy, build out some campaign ideas, and really kind of set you up for some successful content marketing going forward.
Okay. And while I still got you,
Yeah, of course.
can we talk about the prices? I think the question analyzer and the Facebook analyzers, are those only available in the top plans you have?
The question analyzer is available in our mid-tier plan, in the plus plan,
Okay.
which starts at, I think, $139 a month if you're signing up to an annual subscription.
Yeah.
And then the Facebook analyzer is part of the large plan, which, it's more of sort of mostly a feature that a lot of our agency clients tend to leverage.
Yeah.
That being said, I know that you're starting off your business, so we do some startup discounts that are pretty generous,
Okay.
especially for the first kind of 6 months that you're signed up to BuzzSumo. So if, for example, you were like, look, I've got this budget, I really think I could probably leverage these tools a lot initially, even if I drop down to a lower price point later, or maybe I start at a lower price point and scale up. We have a lot of different kinds of programs we could sort of chat about that might line up with your needs.
Okay. That sounds good. Can you talk to me about these other options and what they do?
Sure. Yeah. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to switch over to my my computer audio. I was on my phone audio, so give me just 1 second. I was going to put you on mute for a second.
Not a problem.
Hey, Norman, just give me 1 second. I actually have to restart here. I think the room will stay open, but as I switch over, it's not letting me switch directly. So can you hang out for 5 minutes while I get myself sorted here?
Not a problem. I'll be looking for
Awesome.
stuff. I'll be right
Thanks,
here.
man. Appreciate it. All right. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha here. So the backlinks tool is, this is designed to show you the links that are driving back to your site. So links are really great for understanding who is finding your content valuable enough to link back to you and write about it on their own sites. So you'll be able to see, altogether how many links you're driving, and it really does give you a good picture of the long-term health of your organic traffic. Backlinks is really a way to understand how you're growing organically over time. So while social shares are great in the short and medium term, and can contribute to sort of growth in long term, it's really backlinks that can help with the long-term efforts as well, for really improving your SEO rankings for your topics. So use the backlinks to sort of keep track of that as they grow.
Okay, can you tell me like what I'm looking at? So I just put my competitor in here.
Yep.
And I guess this is a blog. They got 514 hits on LinkedIn and 38 on Facebook. So what does that mean?
Yeah, so here's actually what you're looking at here. What you're looking at is, do you see where it says backlink metrics all time?
Mm-hmm.
That's the number of links driving back to their site altogether. The blog posts that you're looking at below, these are actually posts that are written on other sites that are linking back to Gauge Digital. So you see this top one, 8 ways to create an effective digital strategy. That comes actually from digitalmarketinginstitute.com. So somewhere in that article, they're linking back to Gauge. And this Digital Marketing Institute article, like this got 560 total shares. So if I were the social strategist or the digital strategist at Gauge Media,
right,
I would be reaching out to Digital Marketing Institute and thanking them for mentioning us and figuring out if there's ways that I could partner with them again in the future.
Absolutely, yeah.
So in a sense, it shows you sort of the most influential people who are already showing you some love on social media.
That makes sense.
Now, the Facebook Analyzer, everything that we talked about in the most shared and the content analysis tools, that's what the Facebook Analyzer is, but specifically looking at native Facebook content. So if you, like, for example, let's say you didn't run a blog, or let's say you had a very, very strong Facebook marketing strategy. Maybe you treat Facebook like your primary social channel, your primary driver of traffic. Maybe you are working with clients who don't manage blogs, don't even really manage websites, but like they use Facebook primarily. This tool is awesome for that. You can search native Facebook posts for the most popular posts about any topic, or you can even search for individual Facebook pages. So if you typed in, what's a good one? HubSpot. And if you clicked the search by page function, and you typed HubSpot as all one word, you would see the most popular posts at at HubSpot's Facebook page. You would be able to see what posts drive the most likes, comments, shares. And if you tabbed over from results to analysis right there at the top, you would actually be able to see for this particular page, video posts have performed the best for them, publishing on Mondays. So if HubSpot was a competitor of yours, you could use this information to build a Facebook strategy to, benchmark off of them. You could also use this information to help build custom audiences. So, if I knew that like the people sharing HubSpot posts were similar to the people that might share my posts, then I could potentially when I'm building a custom audience for a Facebook ad campaign, I could include demographic information to only target people that like pages such as Facebook or others, if that makes sense.
Uh, yeah, that's like the in the affinity section when you run an ad and all of that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. In the demographic sort of interests, when you're saying like, person likes this or has this job title or things like that.
Absolutely. So
Um,
that's smart.
the
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome. So and then the last tool there, the question analyzer. This is really cool too. This is a forum analysis tool. So rather than looking at web articles, we're specifically looking at forums, hundreds of thousands of forums around the web, where real people are going and asking questions.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you wanted to type in something like digital marketing, you could actually see what questions do people ask most often about digital marketing. You can see that oftentimes we group them by topic. So most times when people, my daughter has something to has some strong words to say about digital marketing.
It's all good.
Yeah, she's been battling a fever for like 3 days, so she's not been going to school.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I'm just I appreciate you being flexible. That
Nah. She comes first. She comes first. That's important.
Yeah. So what you see right here is most often what people search for is best digital, or they search for SEO. So you can kind of understand like what types of things are people normally asking about, and you could either say, well, I'll use this information to create better content, or I'll go right out to the forums myself and answer their questions and turn yourself into a subject matter expert out on the forums. And so people start to kind of see you as an authority in the space, and then go back to your site to say, well, he provides such great information and answers to us on the forums. Maybe I'll check out what his services look like.
Absolutely. Man, that's awesome. So what? I just click on I just click on one of these and join the conversation.
Yeah, some of the tools are totally free. Some of the forums are totally free to subscribe.
Right.
Some of them you might have to create like a free account for.
Yeah.
It depends. I think most often, especially in the marketing space, like Quora and Reddit are going to be your big go-to spaces. Answers.yahoo is going to be a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see here like most of the top ones are posted to Quora because it's a good business forum. So I would start there. It's pretty easy to set up to Quora. I think you can even link in your Facebook account to it, so
Right.
you don't have to create a separate account. And I actually know marketers that don't ever blog, but they drive a ton of traffic to their website because they just spend time on forums like these, 5-10 hours a week, just answering people's questions.
I can imagine.
And if you kind of use that strategy in conjunction with what you blog, you could potentially like answer questions and say, you can read more about this on my blog. I just did a piece on X topic. And then maybe people come check out your blog, and then they go, oh, wait, you can actually do this service for me? Yeah, let me put you on retainer so you can actually build out my strategy.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. that makes me want to get that. So that's under the $139 a month program.
Yeah, you'd have to pay annually to get that price.
Okay.
But I might be able to, like I said, as a startup, like I might be able to qualify you for a startup discount, which I think if you are saying like, look, I can only go monthly, I could probably get you a pretty sizable discount for the first 6 months that you're signed up. Mm-hmm. If you did go annual, I could probably lock in a similar rate for the entire year. It's the only difference is that we require you to pay for your subscription up front. So it really just depends on what works well for your budgeting and needs. I know you're testing out different tools. But either way, whether you go monthly or annual, there's some pretty cool options for you.
Yeah, I'll probably go monthly because I will probably just add it to whatever package I put my client on. And that way I'm not coming out of pocket for it. So I'll probably do it like that, like a month to month type of thing. And this will be
that sounds great.
Yeah, it'll be a service for like my high end clients that are paying like at least 1,000 or 500 a month, and I could just add this service as a part of their service.
Yes, yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think that's great. Like I know a lot of freelancers, a lot of consultants that bake in the cost of BuzzSumo to their retainers. So
Absolutely, yeah.
look, if you get a get a big client on $1,000 a month retainer, and you're paying one, even at the plus plan, if you're paying monthly, even if you're paying full price at 179, you got one client taking care of that cost, but then you can spread that cost across multiple clients. So very quickly, it like sort of pays for itself.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. That's one client could pay for it, and that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah. I think
So,
that's a sort of smart way to do it.
so
Well,
go ahead.
Norman, unfortunately, I have another call that I have to
All
jump
right,
onto in
go
a few
go ahead,
minutes,
go ahead.
but I hope this has been helpful.
I just want to ask: is when is my trial over, and is there any way I can extend it to November 4th? Because that's when I should be able to close on my first
Yeah.
client.
So what I can do is I can restart your trial as of today. So
Hmm.
that will give you, yeah, through about the 4th. You'll get another 2 full weeks to test it. Would that work?
Oh man, that's perfect. You're a lifesaver.
No worries, man. Yeah, of course.
That's
All right, let me go
perfect.
ahead
Yeah,
and do that. And then if you run into any challenges over the next couple of weeks, just drop me a line,
I
and
definitely will. I definitely will,
and
man.
we could chat about it.
Okay. Appreciate your time, man. I'm gonna let you go. I know you're busy. I appreciate you.
No worries, Norman. Good to talk with you. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too, man.
Bye bye.
All right.